right, Nick, the Atlanta Falcons, what a win, come from behind win against the Green Bay Packers, a team that came out hot at the beginning, first game of the season. They came out hot at the beginning of this game, but the Falcons rally back. What a big time win. There's a couple of key players on this Falcons rosters we can attribute to that win too, but I think this is a statement victory coming back for the Falcons. This is a big momentum getter for the Falcons going forward.
No doubt about it. This game looked like a potential blown opportunity maybe for Atlanta as they fell behind early, like you noted, but they pulled it out in the end with a fantastic fourth quarter, both on offense, defense, and special teams, which leads me directly into my question today for you Falcons fans to answer in the comments section below. Who is your MVP of this 25-24 Atlanta victory? A lot of names. I know there's one certain rookie on offense that probably is on the top of a lot of people's lists, but you may have somebody else. Give us your MVP of this Falcons victory in the comment section below. But all right, Miles, let me throw it back over to you. Give me your first thoughts and just some overall breakdown of this big win for Atlanta.
Yeah, Nick, I think unquestionably a candidate for the MVP has to be Young Hoku. That guy was incredible today. 4 field goals. He just looked on fire, and that was a big part of this Falcons team, getting the clutch kicks at the end of the game. But how about the Falcons, Nick? Down 17-9 at one point during this game, then down 24-19. You're thinking, there's only 4 minutes left in the game. How do we come back from a deficit like that? Then you go down 24, or you get the field goal, it's 24-22. You're like, well, there's 2 minutes left. There's no way we're going to stop this Green Bay offense. Defense pulls it out again. You're able to drive down the field, get a great field goal there at the end. Just get this game underway. It was really a necessary win for the Falcons. They start 2-0. They're a strong start to this season. I think it's a team that's looking a lot better than people are thinking of. Desmond Ridder had a shaky start to the beginning of the season. Now he's coming back. Great passing game today. Some crucial catches there by some young guys. I think this is a really great showing all across the board. But, of course, everyone knows star of the show, Bijan Robinson. The guy was amazing. Ran for 124 yards, 6.5 yards per carry. Looked absolutely incredible. But, Nick, what are your thoughts on this game by the Falcons? And what does this just mean for the overall trajectory of this team?
So first and foremost, pulling this out, getting this big win at home was absolutely huge because if you look at their 2 games coming up next, they go to Detroit, a good football team, and then they have the Jacksonville Jaguars at home, another good football team, right? So they got 2 tough games right around the corner. That's going to be a tough environment to win both of those. So there's a big difference between 2-0 and 1-1 in this situation. Right now at 2-0, if they split one of these next 2 games, they're 3-1, they're in a strong position. If they're 1-1, now there's a lot of pressure on them going into those 2 tough games. But in terms of this specific performance, I think the thing that jumped out at me, and I think it was clear as day to anyone who watched the game, the Falcons are one of the more physically tough football teams in the NFL. We did a film review breakdown on Bergeron a few days ago talking about how he did against the Carolina Panthers. I'm really curious to break down the Falcons O-line, looking at the film a little deeper this week when it's released. But I tell you one thing, just watching the broadcast, this is a physical group. They get downhill and they can run through just about anybody. This is a very, very, very good, very, very tough, very, very well coached Green Bay Packers defense that they're up against. And Atlanta ran right through them. I think you've got the stats right in front of you from the box score, right? You look at these numbers. Bijan Robinson, 19 for $124. Algier, 16 for 48. Ritter added 10 for 39. Of course, that big touchdown to cut it to 24-19, like you alluded to. They were the physically better team. And that, I think, means a lot because that's exactly how Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot have structured this team. They didn't make this team to be the fastest team, the team with all the big highlights, the big punt returns, the 60, 70-yard bombs, like the Miami Dolphins. Like, they're not built like Miami, so they're not going to look like Miami. They were built to beat teams this way, to wear you down in the fourth quarter because they're bigger, stronger, more physical than you are. And that's exactly what we saw against the Carolina Panthers week 1. But, it's Carolina, rookie quarterback, new head coach. Yeah, how good are they really? Green Bay Packers, most people consider to be a solid football team. LaFleur is obviously a very good coach, great defense. This game, same formula, slowish start, but they wore them down over the course of the game and took control late. I tell you what, there really is only one key formula I see for the Falcons in terms of making a deep playoff push and making the playoffs, but it's a really good formula because they are really good at it. And the formula is simple. Run the football, get the ball in the hands of one of their key playmakers, London, Jonnu Smith, Bijan Robinson, of course, Algier, and of course, Kyle Pitts. When the opportunity is there, get the ball to one of those key playmakers and otherwise physically wear down their opponents. And here's the thing, it doesn't seem to matter who they're going to play, whether it's Carolina, whether it's Green Bay, whoever it is, it looks like they have the ability to wear them down. I think that's what this win meant to me, looking at what the Falcons did. This shows that their formula, while it's a simple formula, it can be extremely successful, and they can carry it with them the rest of the season.
Yeah, Nick. And how about some of these key additions on the defensive side of the ball, showing how good they are? Caden Ellis, 6 tackles and a sack today, just showing that he's, a man in the middle of the field, not to be messed with. Again, last week, Bates had a couple of pair of interceptions last week. He looked very, very good. These key additions on this defensive side of things, Calais Campbell in the middle was stout today. I just think these are helping this team stay in the games, because if the defense didn't start slowing Green Bay down at the end of the game, they easily could have came back and put this one away. But the defense kept giving the offense some chances. And I think at the end of this game especially, we saw how potentially good this Falcons defense is, or is it just good enough to win these games?
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. How about Bud Dupree, throwing his name in there too down the stretch? He was phenomenal. This was an Atlanta Falcons team going into the fourth quarter. I honestly thought the game was lost. But not only did they wear them down and dominate them on the offensive side of the ball, defensively, they just completely shut down the Green Bay Packers, especially on that final drive, right? Last chance, Jordan Love, what's going to happen? He had a minute, plenty of time, incomplete. I tell you what, this defense is a lot better than people think. Pair that with their physical running game on offense. Desmond Ridder slowly getting better and better. This team may actually be a sneaky good contender in an NFC right now.